What's going on, guys? ShadowNinja here, and today we got a video reviewing the multiplayer for Black Ops 6. Again, this video will focus only on multiplayer. Now, this video took a while, but there's a very good reason for that. Black Ops 6 is one of the most confusing CODs right now to talk about for myself. Now, personally, I am enjoying this game. I'm having a great time, but if it wasn't for the gameplay loop, this Call of Duty might be labeled hot garbage. There's a lot to go into. There's a lot to unpack. Again, I really love this game, but it is confusing. But before we go into all of that, just want to say if you guys want more content from me, please consider hitting that subscribe button and bell to be notified for when I do drop more content. We still have some fun stuff with multiplayer planned in the coming days. So with that being said, let's jump into this video review, whatever. So like I said when I started this video, I love this game, but it's also fair to say that I hate this game at the same time. Omni movement and the gunplay truly are perfect for me, but it's probably the best feeling COD ever right now. But the surrounding bits of it may be some of the worst ever seen for a COD on launch. It is truly baffling right now. And honestly, it's pretty impressive. Making one of the greatest feeling CODs, but also one of the worst content-wise at launch is an impressive feat, Treyarch. But before we talk all negative, let's get the good out the way, because again, the good is really good. It may not be realistic, but Omni movement brings the fun back into COD. Moving from point A to point B, even using the movement to gain an advantage in gunplay, it's the much needed skill gap we players have been asking for the past couple years. And the best part, you never need to use the dive and shoot part of it. Maybe that was my biggest worry when it came to Omni movement, especially when it was announced and then seeing it in action during the beta. The dive and shooting was going to be a spam feature, but it's not. It's there, you can use it, but it's not a necessity. The main boost of Omni movement is going to be the horizontal play. For the longest time, you can only sprint forward in Call of Duty, but now you can do that in any 360-degree direction, giving so much control to the player. It's insane that it took this long for this to even exist. And it truly is one of the greatest features ever introduced in a Call of Duty. Now, all that could be awesome, but it's important with how it pairs with the gunplay, and it pairs as perfectly as it could have. Treyarch, in my opinion, had a history, at least for me, of not enjoying its gunplay. I know, a little controversial. It leaned a little bit too on the arcadey side with recoil control, sounds, and all this other nonsense. But Black Ops 6 is at least the first time since probably Black Ops 2 that they did not make me feel that. It could be the engine. This is technically on the IW engine made by Infinity Ward back for Modern Warfare 2019 and since updated for COD HQ format and things like that. Or maybe it's because for the first time in a long time, Treyarch had the time to make a game. I believe this is probably the first time since Black Ops 2 they had time to make a well thought out weapon system, and it's even highlighted in the gunsmith. Less cons to the attachments, making more possibilities possible. It just means that you have more creative power in what can work and what feels nice, and that is a great feeling. Everything that may have been awful, for example, in Modern Warfare 2 2022, like sprint to fire, ADS, and reload times, is probably in the best possible place right now in this game. Great gunplay paired with great movement of Omni movement make for one of the best gameplay loops seen in Call of Duty history, and hence why I love this game. But as I'm about to lay out, the other parts of this game are arguably the worst. Mainly the maps. Guys, there are 16 playable maps at launch right now. Nuketown drops tomorrow, November 1st, but I like 2 maps. The rest I either feel nothing for or just flat out dread it. Oh, and it's important to mention, I also hate Nuketown. I think it's a awful map that, like Shipment, only gets gassed up because it's a cheap grind for us players for our rank ups and weapon level. Only 2 maps that I like. That is so disappointing, especially from Treyarch. We are supposed to trust these people to deliver some well-designed, tested maps, but not here. I don't like saying this, I really don't, but Modern Warfare 2019's launch maps are incredible compared to these. Dare I say, even Modern Warfare 2 2022's maps are incredible compared to these maps. I don't know what went wrong here, but just gonna say personally, I think that there wasn't enough testing done here, or maybe they pulled the wrong set of people. Like maybe it was pros instead of just regular people. I don't know. Whatever happened, something needs to change, and hopefully post-launch maps don't feel as awful as this. But again, that type of stuff is already in the pipeline, already wrapping up and things like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Another thing that has me really bummed out is the weapon count and weapon progression. Starting off with the weapon count, we have 33 weapons altogether at launch at the moment in Black Ops 6. Compare that to another full release Call of Duty like the recent Modern Warfare 2. That game had 39 primary weapons. This does not include handguns and launchers or even melee weapons. I believe the count there is 52 or 57. That's a lot. That Black Ops 6 number I did mention too, I need to reiterate, includes everything. Like primary weapons, secondary weapons, launchers, melees, things like that. That's everything. So as you guys can imagine, that is a massive disappointment. And sure, someone can make the case that less might be better and more well-rounded, but there's no excuse. The recent Modern Warfare 3 game was a game made in less than half of the dev time here for Black Ops 6, and it had over 37 new weapons at launch. This isn't including the stuff carried over from Modern Warfare 2 2022. 33 weapons is just not an acceptable number, even if they personally make my camo grind faster. And this, without question, leads to my frustrations with the weapon progression. It's pretty clear that the slow grind of ranking up these weapons is tied to the lack of weapons that there is. There is no reason for weapons to reach 48 levels. For what? All the weapons have similar functioning attachments mostly, and I'm not saying they have to be shared like we saw in the previous two games, but have the levels match the amount of attachments. I don't need to go to 48 levels on, I believe, my XM4 for like the same amount of attachments on all the other weapons. It's mind-boggling and it's frustrating. Or maybe just the other thing is just don't make it a slogfest. It is kind of ridiculous how much you need to focus in on these camo challenges to really enhance your weapon XP. Like if you're not doing camo challenges with ranking up your weapons, one of the main things you're going to probably find out is that it's taking forever. So getting headshots is great, doing the specialty camos is great, doing the mastery camos is great. It's frustrating that that's what you have to do to really get anywhere with some semblance of a reasonable progression system by not using exploits, because again, you could use exploits in zombies, for example, to rank up. But besides that point, it's just crazy. It's crazy that it's like this. But besides that, I have pretty much nothing else to say. Yes, I went in on those cons, but believe me, somehow I am still loving this game. That's how incredible the gameplay loop is. But the rest of it, it falls so short of being remotely even good. But yeah, that's why Black Ops 6 multiplayer will probably go down as the most confusing COD MP in a while. But in general, curious to hear your guys' thoughts on Black Ops 6, your experience. Again, it took me nearly a week because I was really playing it. I was truly trying to get recency bias, get that honeymoon out of me when it comes to COD and things like that, because it was such a confusing experience. But I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say on that. Are you feeling similar about loving certain things and hating other things? Is it confusing for you, or maybe you just love it altogether? Leave a comment down below sharing your thoughts. We can have a conversation about it. If you guys enjoyed the content, found it informative, be sure to drop this video a like, helps out the video a ton. And of course, like I mentioned before, if you guys want more content from me, please consider hitting that subscribe button and bell to be notified for when I do drop more content. With that being said, that's all I gotta say on this one. Hope you guys have a good one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.